Hey there, it's Gregson. Welcome back to Shifting Lanes. In today's video, we are going to talk about the GMC Sierra and what you need to know about this truck before you research it, compare it to others in its class, or buy it. And even if you're not in the market for a Sierra, be sure to watch all the way to the end because I'll go over all of the information I've gathered to tell you if you should check out a Sierra of any year or if this is a truck buyers should avoid. In this video, I'll go over what to look for on the Sierra. Things like a few common issues, any major service bulletins, any major recalls, reliability ratings, and what's new for the 2021 version compared to the 2020 model, along with what to expect for 2022. And if you're here because of this one, consider watching our other content as well. We make tons of videos about new car reviews, other what to know videos, consumer advice recommendations, and automotive news. If you'd like to see any of those, check the description below for playlists of everything we do, or click the card above for a hand-picked video for you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably know a lot about the GMC Sierra or you're looking to buy one. Really, there is no in-between here. Trucks here in the US have either buyers or those that are really into them, and that's it. There's no such thing as a casual truck fan. But if you know anything about truck life here, you know that the Ford F-150, Ram 1500, and Chevy Silverado are the undisputed kings of truck sales. But would you be surprised to learn that the GMC Sierra is still in the top 10 for total US sales in 2020? Well, it's true, and it sold 253,016 units, good for 9th on the list, and beating out sales champs like the Toyota Corolla, Ford Explorer, and Jeep Wrangler. After the big three, it's the best-selling truck in the country, but many still believe it's just a more luxurious version of the Chevy Silverado. And while that's kind of true, it's also not because there are some key differences that set it apart. Now, most trucks do this, but there are a truly staggering amount of options in the Sierra range. For example, depending on the workload you have, you could get one of 3 different versions of the Sierra, the 1500, the 2500, or the 3500. For this video, we'll focus on the 1500. Right now, there is no 2022 model for the 1500, but the 2021 has been out for a while, and you can get it in, like I said, a mind-boggling amount of options. First is the engines, where you can opt for one of the following. A 2.7-liter turbo 4-cylinder producing 310 horsepower and 348 pound-feet of torque and mated to a 10-speed automatic. A 3-liter turbo diesel with 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque mated to a 10-speed auto. A 4.3-liter V6 that produces 285 horsepower and 305 pound-feet of torque with a 6-speed auto. A 5.3-liter V8 giving 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque with either a 6, 8, or 10-speed automatic. And finally, a 6.2-liter V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque mated to a 10-speed automatic. Dizzy yet? I know I am. This is part of the Sierra's offering to make it a bit more appealing to buyers with the crazy amount of differentiation between the engines and trim levels. Yes, you can have all these engine types in the Silverado, but maybe your local dealer doesn't have the Silverado you want. Well, there's a GMC dealer right down the road that has the Sierra with the same specs that's a touch more upscale and not that much more expensive with some incentives. Pretty tempting, right? Now, of course, you can't get all these engines in all the trim levels, but the trims are just as dizzying with Sierra, SLE, Elevation, SLT, AT4, and the luxurious Denali trim to round them all out. What all this means is that if you have a job to do or something to tow, the Sierra has you covered. And speaking of towing, the capacities for that are very good, ranging from 9,000 pounds max trailering on the 4-cylinder 2-wheel drive version to 11,800 pounds on the V8 4-wheel drive 6.2-liter. For 2021, there was a bunch updated for the Sierra 1500. GMC gave it increased trailering capability with a 2.7-liter turbo and 3-liter Duramax turbo diesel. Also available are a wide array of enhanced camera trailering technologies for compatible trailers, which include a new trailer length indicator, new jackknife alert, new cargo bed view enhancement, rear trailer view with new guidelines and trailer angle indicator, and a rear side view enhancement. An optional X31 off-road and protection package is available on SLE, Elevation, and SLT trims, along with a 1SA safety confidence package available on the Sierra trim. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability were also added. The revolutionary GMC Multi-Pro tailgate was included as standard on SLE and Elevation trims. For amenities, premium floor mats with removable carpet inserts are optional on the SLT and Denali trims, while they're standard on the AT4. And finally, a few exterior colors were added at an extra cost, which were Brownstone Metallic, Hunter Metallic, Cayenne Red Tint Coat, and Ebony Twilight Metallic, which are all just fantastic names for colors of cars. For 2022, the 1500 isn't out yet, like I said, but there's big news that we do know that's coming for that model year. GM as a whole introduced the Super Cruise driving aid system that is widely regarded as one of the best on the market. They introduced it pretty recently, and I believe it came first on some of the Cadillac products. And yes, this system is even better than Tesla's Autopilot, which isn't really an autopilot at all. GM's system does seem to have better lane keeping than the Tesla, according to independent testing, and this tech is coming to the 2022 Sierra in the trailering capacity. And per the GMC press release, Super Cruise introduces on the Sierra the capability to trailer while driving hands-free on compatible roads, along with the new automatic lane change feature. The question has arisen about trusting a system like this with a massive trailer behind, but GMC has tested it, of course, and says it works great. Should we take them at their word on that? I would, but some real-world testing from journals and media outlets should give us a bit more peace of mind once those tests come in on this model and once this model hits the market. With all of that said, if you can't afford a new Sierra, or just like the older ones better and want a good deal, well, then you need to do your research, and we've got you covered there too. Let's start out by talking about some of the past issues with older Sierras. CarComplaints.com is a great resource when looking at complaints and overall issues. I frequent this site almost daily looking for information on cars to better inform all of you. There are a bunch of issues for the Sierras across all years, but a few of the biggest are AC not working on the 2015 Sierra with an average cost to fix of $1,100 at an average mileage of 58,000 miles. Next is poor lighting pattern on the 2015 Sierra with an average cost to fix of $200 at an average mileage of 8,000 miles. And finally, terrible headlights, poor visibility on the 2014 Sierra with an average cost to fix of $400 and an average mileage of 8,000 miles. According to this data, 2014 and 2015 are the model years with the most amount of complaints. There are very few complaints for basically all of the other years of the Sierra on the site, even dating all the way back to 1991. Next, let's talk about the Technical Service Bulletins, or TSBs, for the Sierra. If you didn't know, a TSB is a communication from the manufacturer, like GMC or GM, that documents recommended procedures for repairing vehicles, and they happen when there are several occurrences of an unanticipated problem. For example, if consumers keep reporting that their doors won't lock because a wire in the door is known to disconnect from its harness, and it's happening across many different shops or dealers, the manufacturer will look into it, and if there's a fix, issue a TSB so that if it happens again, the fix is easily understood and rectified. The manufacturer may also find fixes proactively and issue a TSB if the fix does not require a recall. You might be surprised to learn that there are hundreds of TSBs listed for almost all model years of the Sierra. However, it's important to remember that this isn't necessarily a standard for reliability. Almost all cars, and yes, even the Toyota Camry, have tons of TSBs for each year they are produced, so take this into consideration when doing your research. I won't go into all of the TSBs they list, but if you're more DIY inclined, it's worth poking around in them should you find something wrong with your vehicle and want to fix it yourself. You may find a TSB with a fix you need and could save yourself hundreds, if not thousands, in repair costs with the right know-how. You can find TSBs listed on sites like Car Complaints, among others, as TSBs need to be public knowledge by law. But I will mention that if you do find something wrong and you own a newer model, ask the dealer first, as you'll likely have a warranty that should cover you for almost anything. On that note, let's talk about any active recalls that the Sierra has. You can find these along with other complaints, manufacturer communications, and investigation information at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA for short. The Sierra has many different recalls associated with many different model years, but here are a few to watch out for and the years that relate to them. For the 2008 Sierra, passenger frontal airbag inflator may explode. An inflator explosion may result in sharp metal fragments striking the driver or other occupants, resulting in serious injury or death. GMC's fix was to replace the front passenger airbag inflator with an alternate one. Next is software error may cause unintended braking. Unintended activation of the driveline protection system will cause unintended braking on the wheel on the opposite side of the failed sensor, causing the vehicle to pull to one side unexpectedly, increasing the risk of a crash. GMC's fix: a software update to the electronic brake control module or EBCM to remedy the issue. And lastly, vacuum pump may decrease power brake assist. A decrease in brake assist can increase the brake pedal effort and distance required to stop the vehicle, increasing the risk of a crash. The fix for this one was a reprogramming of, strangely enough, the EBCM again. Next, let's talk about overall reliability. Consumer Reports ranks the Sierra as number 8 in the full-sized pickup truck segment with a disappointing overall score of 45 out of 100. Though that's pretty much the norm with this category on Consumer Reports, as the number 1 in class, according to them, the Ram 1500, only gets a 63 overall. So take those ratings with a big grain of salt. Consumer Reports uses a metric called predicted reliability and ranks this entire class as pretty bad overall, with only a few offerings getting an average grade or better. You're better off looking at the road test score here, which is a much better metric for this segment, and the Sierra is number 2 in this ranking with a 78, second to only the Ram with an 83. Car and Driver ranks the Sierra as number 5 overall in the same segment, but they also have specialty versions of the same trucks in here, like the Ford F-150 Raptor and the Ram TRX. Among the normal models, they have the Sierra as 3rd ahead of the Silverado in 4th. If you look at many sources, reliability on the Sierra and many full-size trucks is average at best. But in this segment, no one cares. Full-size trucks are as close to a religion in the US automotive community as anything else, so people are going to buy them even if they're pretty damn unreliable. With that said, based on what I've found, the Sierra is pretty solid mechanically with 2 problem model years, and that's pretty much it. Do you have one and it's been terrible? Let me know in the comments. I do kind of want to hear from you guys on this one. And finally, do we recommend you go in to buy a Sierra if you've made the decision to purchase? The answer to that question is yes, but don't discredit other brands. Look, if you're a GMC, Ford, Chevy, Ram person, by all means, go buy the newest one. You'll probably be really happy with it. But this class always tries to one-up the competition in some way with the newest model. So shopping around is really the best course of action here if you want the best value for dollar. If you don't want to do that, the GMC Sierra looks like a solid overall vehicle with tons of options and one of the coolest party tricks in the truck world with that class exclusive multi-function tailgate. If you have the means, get a new one and enjoy it. If you want a used one, just avoid the 2014s and 2015s and you should be good to go. I hope that this video does help you in making your buying decision a bit easier or has made you a better informed owner. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, you can find us at Shifting Lanes on Facebook and Instagram, where we post about the cars we review, our personal cars, and industry news and adventures. Again, my name is Gregson. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time.